Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Sarah.
Last lesson before the holidays?
Yes.
Holiday homework?
Yeah.
Okay, laptops down, eyes on the board. Alright, so just a quick revision lesson on 5A and 5B. We have done it before, so I'm just going to quickly go through all the important questions that you need to know for these two exercises. Okay? So, can someone remind me what we decided on, decided for the definition of a pronumeral?
Me.
Yes, you.
Instead of using, it's like a way of explaining in and out of using symbols and numbers.
What is a pronumeral? So you've told me how we use it. We use it instead of, symbols, or not so much instead of words, we use them.
It's a variable, so a number, it's a letter that could represent any number.
Perfect, that makes perfect sense to me. A letter that is used to represent a number, is that clear? Does that make sense? Why did he call it a variable? Yep.
Because it can change and variables can change.
Exactly, because we don't know what it's equal to. It can have different values. It can change. Is it constant? No. For example, if we were raising money for charity, if I say, okay, whatever this class raises, I'll double it, right? So if you raise $10, I'll donate 20. If you raise $20, I'll donate 40. If you raise $100, I'll donate $200. So if you raise an X amount, what would I donate? 2 times X, right? So X can be anything. Every year it'll be different, every term. So it doesn't matter what pronumeral I've chosen, it's not a constant number. That is why they're also called as variables. Do we get that? Okay, so when we have a relationship between two quantities like we just described, so amount of money the class raises and the amount of money the teacher donates, it's a relationship, isn't it? Yes, so relationship can be described in words or formulas. When we describe something in words, it's called a rule. When we use symbols or pronumerals, we call it a formula. So have you heard of the word formula before? Yes, so it's nothing fancy, nothing difficult, nothing to be afraid of. A formula is just the way we write a relationship, but in easy and quicker form. So rather than using words, we use math symbols. So let's do these questions, and this all should make sense. Let's stop playing with our laptops, put them down, pens, rulers, everything down. Alright, so the rule between the two sets of numbers, so I'll call these the input numbers, and these are the output numbers. Now they're related in some way. And the rule is add 5 to the input number. So if the input number is 2, we'll add 5 to it, that'll give us our output number. So 2 plus 5?
7.
3 plus 5?
8.
4 plus 5?
9.
That's it, that's a rule. How about, because we're smart, we don't want to use rules because it's a waste of time, it's long. We are going to use symbols, math symbols, to represent this. So, can I write output equals input plus 5? Does that make sense? So now I've not used words only, but I've used symbols and I've used, the plus sign, I've used numbers. Does that make sense? Now, to make things even quicker, we use pronumerals rather than input and output. And that'll be clear in these two questions. So, write a formula relating to the pronumerals. So, I've given you the numbers. So, instead of writing input, I've written M. Instead of output, I've written N. They have a relationship that they follow, and we have to think of that relationship. But we don't write it in words, we write it as a formula. So what do you think is happening? So if M is 0, N is 0. But if M is 1, N is 2. M is 2, N is 4. What are we doing to the top number to get the bottom number?
We're multiplying it by 2.
Multiplying it by 2. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Let's check. What's 0 times 2?
0.
1 times 2? 2 times 2?
4.
3 times 2?
6.
4 times 2?
8.
So what you said in words was the rule. Multiply M by 2 to get N. That's a rule, right? But we write a formula. Yes? Yep, can you tell me the formula?
N equals M 2x.
So N equals 2 times M. Is that right? Yeah. Are we happy with that? That is a formula. Now, when we write two numbers together, let's say I have to write 2 times 2. Don't I have to put the times sign in? Because if I don't put the times sign in, doesn't it just become 22?
Yeah.
Yes? However, when we're writing a letter and a number, we don't have to put the times sign. So 2m means 2 times m. So when there's a letter and a number multiplied together or two letters multiplied together, we don't have to put the multiplication sign because it's obvious that they're being multiplied. But when we're multiplying two numbers, we must put the times in. Is that clear? So rather than writing n equals 2 times m, you'll just write n equals 2m. Any questions? Yes?
Can we still write 2 times m so it doesn't...
I prefer not to. You need to know how to write things in algebra and how to read things in algebra, so please don't write it. Okay? Any other questions? You had one? No? Okay. Now, we've given you a rule, but not in terms of a table. We've given you a Cartesian plane. So we did talk about the Cartesian plane, the x and the y. We'll talk about it in detail in our next topic. So for now, we just need to know how to read it. So these dots represent the different values x and y can have. So when these are the x values and these are the y. When x is 1, what is y equal to? 3. So I have to find the formula relating these two. Before I find the formula, I'll fill in the table. So when x is 1, y is 3. When x is 2, y is supposed to be 4 because I didn't use a ruler. My dots are a bit out of order. When x is 3, y is 5. This is really bad. 5. And when x is 4, y is 6. Now we need to think of the relationship between them. Yes? Okay, what's the rule? How are x and y connected?
Plus 2.
You're not sure? Let's check. 1 plus 2? 2 plus 2? 3 plus 2? 4 plus 2? So is the rule that y is equal to x plus 2? Yes. So how we write it? That's it. Do we get it? So the questions you'll be asked will be identifying the rule by the table, given the rule, complete the table, and find the relationship using a graph, and then completing the table and tell me the rule. But you must be able to use formulas because we don't use rules, we use formulas because they're quicker. We save time. Any questions? That's it, copy.